The bass. The bass is just awesome. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly and in this video I'm going to be reacting to the album LD50 from the band Mudvayne. Now about a week ago I put a poll up in my community tab here on YouTube asking all of you out of 5 albums that are recommended to me a lot which one you want to see a reaction from next, and by a pretty wide margin LD50 by Mudvayne won the poll. I know nothing about LD50 except that it's their debut album and I think it's considered a nu metal album. I don't really even know the genre of this one, and I'm just really intrigued to hear it. I have no idea what I'm in for. Alright, so we are starting off LD50 with the first track called Monolith. Sounds like some really distorted electronic vocalizations, and then there's this really industrial sounding noise that's building up.
Suggesting that our evolution, I suppose, these hallucinogens might affect our future evolution as well.
Very interesting start to that album. That was track 1 called Monolith, almost like post-apocalyptic kind of haunting quality to that one. And then the commentary was really interesting about human evolution and how hallucinogens maybe have brought about the human existence and have kind of enhanced life maybe for humans. I don't know. Really interesting commentary on that one. Yeah, let's just move on to track 2 called Dig. Alright, so they're kind of taking the heavy industrial elements of that first track and they're pulling it into this one. Yeah, this track definitely has more of that nu metal quality to it. I love the chorus of this one. It just has this driving intensity to it. That was track 2, Dig. That one just brought a lot of intensity to it. I really liked how groovy it was, like especially when the chorus would come in. It just had such a great flow to it. And the next track is track 3 called Internal Primates Forever. There's like a flash of moments on this track where I'm picking up on like some extremely subtle Adrenaline by Deftones vibes. There's just like this really short, sharp sound to the rhythm. Track 3, Internal Primates Forever. I just really liked the weird kind of grooviness that they were throwing in, but then it's paired with like this really intense, like I said, these short bursts of energy. It's just creating a really cool dynamic there. All right, moving right along, we have track 4 called -1. All right, this one's starting off markedly more melodic and subdued. I like that. They say wake up right when the vocals go from that really quiet melodic verse into the really aggressive, powerful chorus. It's almost like the chorus is waking you up from that more melodic state. They're really changing up the style of vocal delivery on this particular track a lot. You've got the melodic stuff, then you have the aggressive lyrics coming in, and now you've got these kind of distorted ones. Track 4, -1. That one was great. I really liked the dynamics of sound going on, how they started it out really melodic and restrained, and then they would just pair it with that really aggressive chorus, and they just kind of kept going back and forth on the two, but they still retained that really sharp, precise sounding instrumentation throughout it as well. And I'm going to move on to track 5 called Death Blooms. That's a really cool start. I like that sound. This one's got a really great flow to it. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting patterns in the sonics of this song, just the sound of it. See how they do that? Like, now we've got this really beautiful melodic part.
And in a gloom as wide as an eye of fermenting space between a blink and a tear. Death blooms.
That was track 5, Death Blooms. Absolutely my favorite track on this album so far. That one just brought it. I just liked how they were changing up the sound so much, but it worked really well. They made those transitions really seamless. And I'm just going to keep listening to track 6 called Golden Ratio. Got some bells, like chime-like sounds going on. Well, that was track 6, Golden Ratio, just a little 54-second track. Super interesting sounds, though. Like this really futuristic outer space sound to it. But then you had those chimes, too. That kind of gave it a little bit more of a natural sound to it. All right, up next is going to be track 7 called Cradle. Definitely some corn vibes on that one. What was that? That's a weird sound. Okay, it sounded like the song ended, and then they just brought this more melodic part back in again. That was track 7, Cradle. That one was amazing. I really enjoyed on that one how toward the end it sounded like the track ended, but then they just brought in the same really quiet, more restrained part that the beginning of the track had. And I'm going to move on to track 8 called Nothing to Gain. Gain is spelt with an E, so I don't know what the significance of that is. I like how he delivered that vocal line, just with such a seething tone. That guitar in the background is super fun, like sort of a funk sound. Alright, and then again, track 8, Nothing to Gain, just flowed right into the next track. But that one was great. I liked how they infused those little flashes of electronic sounding stuff, like especially toward the end there when it was fading out. But then they're fusing it with this darker, harsher, kind of raw, organic sound too. But yeah, I'm going to continue on with track 9 called Mutatis Mutandis. This is oddly reminding me of the Mars Volta, a tiny, tiny little bit. Again, some lyrical themes about human evolution. That was track 9, Mutatis Mutandis. Super futuristic sounding, and then the vocals toward the end with that weird warped distortion on them was just really cool. I liked it. And up next is track 10 called Everything and Nothing. I am everything, I am nothing. They're definitely getting into themes on duality, kind of a split human existence, and maybe trying to merge those two forms of existence together into a more evolved or enlightened human consciousness. They're just changing up the vocals a lot across this whole album. Like, you've got this ambient sounding talking vocal style going on, and then they bring back this really harsher, aggressive sound. That was track 10, Everything and Nothing, again with how they're bringing that really kind of sharp intensity to their sound, but then they've got all of this atmospheric stuff that they're pulling on too. And moving on, we have track 11 called Severed. I really like how you have the one vocal that's like really soaring and clean sounding, and then it's paired with that harsher tone to the main vocals. I can't get over the bass. I don't know, that's just the standout on this track for me. Alright, they just changed it up quite a bit. That was track 11, Severed. To me, the bass, that really funky bass going on, was just the standout on that track. I loved it. Paired with the aggressive tone of that song, just a really, really cool combination. All right, up next is going to be track 12 called Recombinant Resurgence. This sounds like the same vocals from Mutatis Mutandis.
Ordinary consciousness, serotonin, that's correct.
Now we've got some really industrial sounding elements. Again, it flowed a little bit into the next track, but that was track 12, Recombinant Resurgence, if I'm saying that right. Yeah, I'm weirdly enjoying these little interludes. They're just really interesting to listen to. But I'm just going to continue on with track 13 called Prod. Really cool rhythm that they're introducing to this song. Again, it's just lending more to that really sharp staccato sound that this album has. There's that funkiness in the background again. I love how they're doing that. Drain us of life and cleanse the mess. Track 13, Prod. That was a really interesting end. That last line of vocals that were delivered. I loved how on the chorus they would just stop the entire track, like there would be no sound for a few seconds. Really cool, unexpected, super entertaining to listen to. All right, moving on to track 14, we have Pharmaecopia. Really cool rhythm to this one at the start here. Really interesting vocals too. Again, they've got a lot of distortion going on. These are just a few of my favorite things. Quite a change up from the Sound of Music version, that's for sure. There's such a sinister tone to this part of this track. Yeah, this track is definitely about like numbing out, sedating yourself from life, maybe. Track 14, Pharmaecopia. That one brought some great aggression to it. I loved the vocal delivery across that whole track, and I really liked that bridge toward the end there with the funky bass going on. And moving on to track 15, we have Under My Skin. This track has more of that nu metal style going on, kind of a hip hop sound, but delivered with a lot more aggression. Drop your ass like a heart attack. You see what I mean? This track definitely has more of a hip hop edge to it. The bass is just awesome. That was track 15, Under My Skin. That was a super fun one. Definitely had more aggression to it, way less of those atmospheric sounds that they kind of have been playing around with on this album so far. It had more of that nu metal kind of rap-like quality to it. Alright, moving on, we have track 16 called It's Either Now Forever or No Forever. I'm not even going to say it again. You know what I'm going to say about the bass. This track is bringing such an explosive energy to it. Take me, change me, swallow. Yeah, again, they're changing up the vocals too, so now they've got more of those melodic vocals coming in. That was track 16, Now or No Forever. Really, really intense, raw, dark sound to the delivery of that one. They definitely brought it on the instrumentals. And I really want to see how this album is going to end, so I'm going to just continue on with track 17 called Lethal Dosage. Okay, so it's like another kind of weird ambient one.
A perturbation of the mind, and the perturbed mind.
And then there's like this really quiet, breathy, whispered vocal too. And now it almost sounds like you're being plunged underwater. Well, that was track 17, Lethal Dosage, the last track on LD50. It definitely reminded me of the few other little interlude-ish tracks that they had throughout this album, just with that distorted talking. And then toward the end there with those really whispered, breathy vocals, such a sinister, creepy tone to end this album on. Alright, so that is going to wrap up my reaction to LD50, the debut studio album from the band Mudvayne. This one was super, super cool to listen to. I loved all of the sounds they threw on this one. They definitely played around with a lot of atmospheric, kind of electronic sounding stuff with the distorted vocals, but then they brought that more nu metal aggression at times too. I think the tracks work really well as a cohesive unit. For me though, the standouts I would say were Prod. I just really, really liked the dynamics on that one, and with the stopping and starting rhythmic pattern, that was really cool. Track 7, Cradle, was also absolutely a standout, and I think my favorite upon first listen to LD50 would have to be track 5, Death Blooms. That one was amazing. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you want to see more reactions from Mudvayne and what you think of LD50. And yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.